What's good? Today is the 12th of February, Wednesday. It is 2:02 p.m. And I wanted to make a video because I was thinking about something, which is the idea of like designing your life or life by design. Is something that I've mentioned a couple of times on like my main channel, and I literally like made a series that I was doing the vlogs about it, and it's also the banner on my channel, like living life by design and documenting your journey. I don't necessarily know where this video is going, but like I said, it's something that I'm thinking about. I was watching a video by Charlie Morgan recently, just like before I turned on this camera, before I went to get the camera. The video was around the discipline paradox. He was talking about the fact that like you need to have a sustainable work schedule such that you're not doing too much and then you burn out, and then you do too much and then you burn out, and then you have to recover, do too much, burn out, like that, zigzag. And in the first video I uploaded on this channel where I was talking about niching down, that was something I spoke about that I learned, and it was just interesting seeing him talk about something that I literally just spoke about recently and explaining the thing that I learned. And it made me think that the only reason I came to that conclusion and I learned that about myself, right, what he was teaching in that video that I had learned from experience in my own life, is because I've been somewhat like intentional and self-aware, right? And thinking about that intentionality and self-awareness, my mind then eventually connected back to the concept of living life by design. I personally just don't get how people live life very passively. It's something I've been thinking about, and I can talk about these things freely because this is the second channel. Like I might not say things like this on the first channel, right? But on like the main channel, I'm saying main channel and second channel. Like, anyways, I don't know. I think that there needs to be a degree of intentionality with everything that you're doing. And, from time to time, I see the way people are living their lives. I see the results I try to look at the results that other people have and the environments that I go to. Especially this was during my IT. That was the first time that I knew, okay, I need to do things differently. I went on my internship in my 300 level second semester, and I saw the way people were living in the quote-unquote like real world, right? I was working my IT. I saw the other people that I was working with, the first place that I worked with before I got my job here. I was like, I definitely do not want to live this type of life. The type of lives that people settle for, and the fact that people settle, and just the things that people go through, and the type of lives that they've settled for, they've made for themselves by not being intentional about designing the lives that they want. And that was the first eye-opener for me, where it's like, okay, I definitely need to do things differently. I kind of knew it, but it was just reinforcing that fact, having experienced that and seeing the way people are living, that I definitely need to do things differently. And I think when it comes to designing your life, I think there's the aspect of self-awareness, right? Where you have to be aware of, sorry, my computer just went off. I just want to make sure it's on. There's the aspect of self-awareness. I think that self-improvement in itself, I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard this a while ago, and it just registered in my brain that self-development is literally finding areas of weakness for yourself and then developing those areas. And it sounds very logical, but most people don't think about it that way. At least I know I didn't think about it that way. It's usually finding areas, okay, this is not currently working in my life. This is not going the way it should go. What should I do differently to change it? How can I make it better? And a lot of it is very logical. I'm just thinking about things that are not working. For example, that thing that I said, the discipline paradox that he was talking about, how you should live a sustainable life. I was explaining my experience with that in the first video. I noticed that I would have periods in my life where things are going very well, and then next thing I know, I'm down, nothing is working again, and I'm trying to get my life together again, thinking about that, I'm back up again, and then down, and then my life was just up, down, up, down. And the only reason I was able to think about that was first of all, self-awareness, understand that this is a problem, and this is not how things are supposed to be. The next stuff is thinking about, why is this the problem? What am I doing differently? And a lot of the times, I don't think that answer comes immediately, right? I don't have the answer immediately, oh, it's because this, but first of all, even identifying that there's a problem from the self-awareness, right? And then now thinking about it, playing different scenarios, a lot of journaling, a lot of thinking, a lot of listening to conversations, researching, to eventually come to a conclusion that, okay, this is the problem. And eventually I came to a conclusion that, okay, it's because I was living my life out of balance. I had a lot of like work. But then in terms of social, engagements, in terms of relationships, all of those things were basically non-existent. And I had to push the scale back, even if like it's not balanced, at least push it higher such that, I'm able to live a more consistent life and I don't burn out as much, and I'm able to like build momentum with time. So that was how I came to that conclusion. And then right now I'm in this like phase of like reinventing myself. It sounds very cringe, it sounds like it, but I don't know what other word to use for it, where I'm trying to say, okay, this is what I graduated with, right? And a lot of this is just like, I think, coming to terms with the truth also. Like, I'm currently in school. As at that time I was in school studying this computer science thing. I know I don't want to do this computer science thing. So what am I going to do after? What do I want to do differently? Now I'm in a phase where I'm like, okay, I found what I want to do and I want to like niche down, build expertise in this thing, like really double down on this thing. So I'm kind of in a phase of like reinventing myself, because what I did in school is like computer science. Nobody knows me as like getting remote jobs guy. Like I'm not that guy. So I'm reinventing myself to become the guy that, does this particular thing and is an expert in this thing. And it also involves a lot of awareness. Like, okay, I need to have a place of expertise. The reason why I came to this conclusion in the first place was because I knew there was a problem. I was self-aware that I don't have the results. I'm doing an audit on my life. I'm like, I don't have the results that I want to have at this stage of my life. And then I'm thinking, okay, why is that? Why don't I have the results? Is it because of this? Is it because of this? Is it because of this? Then I tried something, which was the memberships thing, and it didn't work out. And it was clear that, okay, I think this is the reason. Now, looking at other people that have been able to achieve what I want to achieve, what do they have differently that I don't have? And then, I'm like, okay, it's because they have this, because they have this. What is missing in my life? Do I need to develop that? What does that need to look like for me? How am I going to build that? Do I need to know the full thing, or do I just need to start and then things will figure itself out? And I think it's this constant state of like asking questions and trying to find, the next path to move forward. I think a lot of people say that, things will work out eventually, everything will be fine eventually, and they're not like actively seeking, the answers to the questions that are on their mind. And I think that that's a good mindset to have, which is that, things would work out eventually. But like, if you're not actively trying to make things work out eventually, things will not work out eventually, at least in my opinion, right? Everything I'm saying here is just my own opinion, and I'm just talking off the top of my head. I just picked up the camera and started talking. So yeah, that's how I like think about it. And I don't think it's much of more the specifics that I'm trying to pass across in this video, but like just that mindset of, okay, like living life by design, like designing, intentionally looking at, this is where I'm trying to go, this is where I am right now, this is what is working, this is what is not working, this is what I need to change, this is what I need to remove, this is the part that is gray, the area that is gray that I'm not really sure of, this is the part that I have clarity on and I'm moving forward on. And just treating your life like with intention and being intentional. And I think the reason that the reason that I'm very, intentional about this is because I don't know the reason particularly, but I think one of the reasons is because I've seen what the other side looks like living life without intention and just taking whatever life gives you and then swimming with life and just going along with the waves and the wind and all of that. I don't know if that analogy makes sense, but I've seen what that other side looks like, and it's not something that I particularly, envy, the lives of people that live life like that. I think that there needs to be a level of intention, and especially if you're young, which most likely if you're watching this video, you're young, right? As if any, like if you're watching this video, you're most likely young. I think that there's also that stigma of like, oh, young and not. I think this now to me is the best time to do this. I've spoken to people. I think that's one of the things I try to do, being observant and speaking to many people. Like back to that IT time when I was about to, in my 300 level second semester, I'm like going in different directions at this point. But my 300 level second semester, I was talking to people, and the question on my head was like, okay, now that I'm going to my final year, what do you think I should prioritize? What do you think I should do differently? So I spoke to a bunch of people that were in like NYSC stage after university, and the advice a lot of them were giving me, the advice that a lot of them were giving me was, oh, enjoy the last year. That's the last time you'll be with your friends. You see everybody. Make sure you really make the most of it. Just enjoy it, chill out. Things will work out eventually. I was like, okay, this is the advice you're giving me, to chill out and enjoy it. And then I asked them how life is going after school. And a lot of them are like, oh, more things are hard. Life outside school is not easy. I'm like, what is the major thing that is not easy about life after school? And they are telling me that, oh, finances especially is like a major thing for them. Okay, so I'm like, you're telling me that you finish school and finances is like a major problem for you, but then your advice for me to go into final year is to chill out and enjoy life. And I'm like, you people are not making sense. You people are not making sense now. So I knew going into final year that, like, okay, definitely the priority should be like the priority should be a smooth transition from being in university to finishing university. It's like leaving school, going into the real world. Finances is a very important part of that. Figuring out how to like earn a living, is a very important part of that. So I think just that intentionality in itself is, like I said, the mindset that I'm trying to, push for, like you understanding in this video. That's the message I'm trying to pass across in this video. Like just being intentional about building structures, thinking about your life, and just being intentional about it. Because if you're not intentional about it, what usually happens is there's this thing that Myron Golden talks about. It's like a science concept. I think it's entropy. I might be murdering it right now, and it's basically like all things tend towards disorderliness. Like if you're not intentional, so all things eventually will tend toward disorderliness if left alone, right? So I'm pretty sure I murdered that. But the idea is that if you leave something alone, if you leave food alone, right, it will rot eventually. If you leave a building alone for a very long time, nobody uses it, no maintenance, it will eventually like collapse and deteriorate. If you leave things alone for a very long time, they all tend toward disorderliness. And if you live your life alone without intention, like it will tend towards disorderliness too. So you need to be like intentional about building the life that you want. And one fear that I have from time to time with making these videos and this whole brand building thing is that what if I like make these videos and I build this brand and my life does not eventually work out, and imagine like I end up a failure and I've made all these videos, like the irony will be crazy, right? But I don't know what the end goal looks like. I don't know if all of this is going to work out, right? But I'm just trying to be intentional. Like I've put it out there now that okay, I'm trying to build expertise in this thing, this path I'm following. I don't know if it will work out. I'm going to try my best to make sure it works out. But at the end of the day, like I can't control many of these things. What I can control is like the work I'm doing and being intentional about it, designing the type of life that I want, and having that mindset of being intentional about the direction of my life, the things I'm spending my time doing, where I want everything to do. And I think that a lot of the times too, I come across in these videos, as intense and very intense. I'm really not that like intense, right? I don't think I am, at least. I'm actually not that intense, right? I chill a lot. I'm like, right now I'm having intro calls. I don't want to show you because like I'll have to blow some information out, so I'm not going to do that. But I have like a bunch of calls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more calls today, ending by 9 p.m. and I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 calls so far. My next call is in like a couple of minutes, 15 minutes actually. And I'm just in between calls. Once I have a call, I'll chill, lie down, watch a video. I was watching that Charlie Morgan video. I'll just play music and chill vibe. So it's really not that intense, but I think the intentionality is the most important thing. Understanding that, okay, like I said, I knew that the direction I was going, I wasn't happy with the results. What is missing? What needs to change? And that iterative process, I think eventually everything will make sense and everything will work out. This video is getting too long. That's basically what I wanted to talk about. I don't know what I'll title this video, probably something along the lines of like, what does it mean to live life by design? If you've gotten to this part of the video, please write in the comments life by design, so I know that you got to this part of the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.